This is Life's a Pitch TV. Main sponsor, DPS Tech. Also supported by Lackens, all about hearing. Forward Floors, Ginger Pickle, Fred Olsen Logistics, The Dove, Segford Golf Club, Ashford Wright, John Keeble Cars, Venue 16, The Hudson Group, Come Hither Design, Sound 4 Pro Audio, and Suffolk Sound. Our charities this year, Cancer Support Suffolk and the Ipswich Town Community Foundation. Welcome to the DPS Tech Arena. This is Life's a Pitch TV. I'm your host, Mark Murphy, and this is, I think, possibly the noisiest crowd that we've had all season. Hooray! At least since last week, anyway. Welcome to the show. It's great to have you with us. Let me introduce you to the team. Here's Terry Butcher. Hooray! It's Russell Osborne. Hooray! And it's Luke Chambers. On technicals, we have John and Mark next door. Hooray! And our floor managers are Sarah Jane and Leslie. Hooray! And you are our capacity crowd. So welcome the Churchman Stand, sponsored by John Keeble Cars. Hooray! And the North Stand, sponsored by Ashford Wright. Hooray! We're on YouTube, and if you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to like and subscribe to the page. If you're listening on podcast or on Suffolk Sound, you're most welcome as well. Now, we need a special guest, and this week we have an absolute hero of the club, an absolute legend. Would you please make some noise? It's Roger Osborne!
Thank you.
Yeah. Do you want a cushion? Are you okay?
What time is all?
Yeah.
Roger, welcome to Life's a Pitch TV. We were singing You're One of Our Own here because you are a local boy, despite what the newspaper said back in 1978 when you scored the goal that won the FA Cup. They thought you all came from Otley in Yorkshire, didn't they?
Yeah, and I definitely didn't. I mean, probably about, 6 miles from here I was born, and I haven't really gone far since, really.
Was it E-By Gum, the headline in the paper or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so, yeah, which, to be fair, when I first got into Ipswich, all the young boys that come down from Scotland and Newcastle used to take the mick out of the way I spoke anyway, because I had quite a Suffolk drawl on me, and so I was the one who was getting all the stick.
Well, it's fantastic to have you on the show. You've been on before, so welcome, welcome back. It's really great to see you. And Butch and Russ, you were with Roger the other week, weren't you? Last week?
Yeah. When was it? Saturday night.
Yeah.
Yeah. We had a nice little get together at Felixstowe Golf Club. Raised a few pounds for a couple of charities, and very enjoyable as well.
Yeah, it was very nice that only 3 people fell asleep, so that was good. I class that as a good night. No, we actually performed in front of the Osborne family because there was more family members there than actually members of the golf club, wasn't there?
No need for that much.
Okay, sorry. Yeah. Needless to say, it is the biggest family in Suffolk. So.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I bet it was when they were after tickets for the FA Cup final, wasn't it? You had cousins coming out the woodwork?
Yeah, to be fair, talking about Saturday night, I had to put up with Butch explaining to people how short I was. And I went home to my wife and I said, "Oh, good evening, apart from, got a bit of a complex now, really, about how tall I am."
But you were stood just where there's a little bit of a dip in the floor as well.
Yeah, it was a very big dip, wasn't there?
No wonder he wanted to give you a cushion to sit on just now.
Yeah, exactly.
Chambo, what's it like? You're well aware of this man's status in Ipswich Town history, aren't you?
Yeah, I wasn't around when he came on the first time, so yeah, absolute honour and privilege to be sat listening to him this evening, and look forward to what he's going to tell us, especially in light of me, really, and especially being here since he was a boy as well, growing up in Ipswich and being a Ipswich Town player is remarkable. So yeah, looking forward to the evening and listening to Roger.
What's
Well,
the
you
hat
done
for?
well,
Can I
really, to say you weren't actually born then, you see. So
No, he wasn't. No.
I tried to keep that quiet around here. Yeah.
It's a good start, yeah.
yeah.
What's with the hat, Chambo? Have we got a new sponsor?
I just thought I'd mix it up this evening with my own brand, Harmonious Society, because we're doing some very good things in the local area at the moment. So
And that's your running club, isn't it?
it is, yeah.
Yep. Do you want to tell everybody about it?
We'll say that for another time.
Okay.
Let's listen to Roger tonight.
Okay. Well, it's a nice hat, by the way.
Thank
Nice
you very
hat. We
much.
Sort of explain it. Let's talk. We'll talk more about you, Roger, in a little while on the show. But let's talk about what was a good result last weekend, a point away to Aston Villa. Butch, what did you make of that point?
Well, excellent point. I mean, it looked like 3 points was going to be going back on the bus, but the way that they played, the way that they stuck together, the way that they fought and scrapped, it was very, very pleasing. And I think this should give that point, and the way that they play should give them a lot of confidence going into the remainder of the season, because when you're that together and you're that strong and you can score goals and you can also defend well, especially with the new keeper who was marvellous, fantastic, you've got a hope, you've got a real belief and a real chance. So I think that alone, apart from the point, was very satisfying. So yeah, it was you're sitting there with your hands clenched and everything else because you're worried and oh my goodness, what's going to happen? But there was no need really, because I thought they were terrific, everyone.
Russ?
Very solid performance, great. And I think he started at the back. The keeper, I think he gave the back four a lot of confidence, or however they played at the back, 3-5, whatever. And they just built it from there. I thought the goal was a cracking goal. Maya Hutchinson put a terrific ball in, just showed his little bit of pace to get past the full-back like Roger used to do when he was going up and down the wing.
I thought this was quite a serious conversation, wasn't it?
It was,
You'll get to know there's not much serious goes on in here.
None here, no.
and then just hang it up on the far post.
Yeah.
No, he put a good ball in, and Liam Delap left it. See, not Rory this week, Liam Delap this week. He left a few defenders in his wake. Great finish, lovely finish. So I think between the goalkeeper and the centre forward, the rest of the lads, they had inspiration from behind them, in front of them, and they just all got it going. And I think the sending off was a bit harsh. Maybe the first booking was a bit soft, but once you do that, you've got to be extra careful.
But you don't tackle with your arms, do you? You don't pull somebody back when you're on a booking going to the penalty area, and so it's half a chance, but it's still a chance.
All right, it was a stupid sending off.
Okay, there we go.
Okay, it was a stupid sending off, but they all stuck together.
Yeah, I saw Mark Ashton last night, and I think the frustration came that it was the first foul for the whole team in the game on, I think, 27 minutes, and he's got a yellow card for it, and I think the referee signalled that it was his second offence when it actually wasn't. So,
but it was an attack, and it was momentum, and it sort of ticked all the boxes in terms of the criteria. So that was what happened. So after that, when you're on a yellow card, and 4 of us have been on yellow cards before early in the game, so you've got to be sensible. But it's an emotional game.
Do you think the referees get a bit twitchy when they go 20-25 minutes without giving a yellow card and think they've got to give a card soon?
Potentially, yeah, because they feel that they've not had enough limelight on them.
Yeah, so suddenly the next free kick that's given away, results in a yellow card for nothing, whatever it might be.
Yeah, but like you say, I think it gives the team such confidence going into the next few weeks, and even in these guys tonight, they're full of it. So it's nice to get a point on the road and
really good,
move in the right directions over these next couple of games, which are going to be brilliant games for us to play in again, because not many people would give us a chance. But I'm telling you now, there's a big chance to take points off these next two.
It's the start of that run that we're on about.
But that Jack Clark coming on and then being taken off at half time, that was the case, wasn't it? So it's not nice when you're a sub coming on and you're subbed later in the game. But I'm sure he understood, and if it had to be a tactical thing to reorganise, and Wolfie came on. But I've done that as a manager, put on a substitute with about 20 minutes to go in a game, and then taking him off with about 5 minutes to go as well, and I took him off. And he came over, and he was a young kid, and he was petulant, and he stamped and threw things and everything else. So I called him over to politely explain as to why I took him off. And I said, all I said was, I took you, that was it. And then he started giving me the expletives and everything else. And needless to say, he never played for me again. So an easy decision.
I think Kieran manages in a way that lads will understand their roles and responsibility every single minute in every single scenario. So
yeah, wouldn't
that won't
happen.
be a thing for him to.
That won't happen with Kieran, no.
Nice.
The players are very respectful.
Good point, Roger.
An excellent point. I mean, who's to say if there'd have been 11 against 11, would we have got a point? Because it sometimes works for you. Sometimes you can go down to 10 men, then all of a sudden you get it into your head that you know, that was a bit unfair, and you know, they're not going to beat us. I mean, and at times that does seem to happen. You know, so it's brilliant to think that, you know, they nearly got the 3 points with 10 men, but you know, to actually team spirit is the only thing. Well, not the only thing. It's going to be the main thing within the club, which gives us a chance of staying up, I think.
I thought team selection was interesting. You know, it gave us a shout. Sam Morsey, was he ill because he wasn't on the bench?
He's struggling a little bit at the minute, yeah.
Yeah, so, you know, they had to go with what they got, and they got a good response from the players. And Townsend coming in at left back, I thought, you know, I like him because I think he's a good defender, and on the occasion, he did very, very well. So, you know, competition for places maybe. Interesting.
How much of a difference did Palmer make, do you think, Luke?
Oh, massive. It's massive. I think it takes away the nervousness from the supporters, maybe a sense of nervousness in his defenders and the rest of his team. Obviously, there's been no bones made about Murich's position and how he's performed this season. And again, maybe even that for Leif Davis's position at the weekend. Yes, he does fantastic stuff going forward, but maybe it is time for us to be a lot more defensively sound and focus on, if you're a defender in this team, that's what you got to do and that's what you got to bring to the side. So alongside the goalkeeper, he had a fantastic performance, and I've watched him, like I said a few weeks ago, all season long in the Championship, and he's a tremendous goalkeeper. And it's one of those where you think, well, why didn't we do a bit more homework in the first place?
How did he get that one from behind his head up and past the post?
Yeah, but he knows he's been brought in to challenge the other goalkeepers, and he's coming in fully fit, so he'll be absolutely buzzing to be playing in the Premier League, and he's full of confidence.
I thought he was at fault for the goal, though. You're joking, aren't you? What a free kick that was. That was absolutely world class, and the finish, it just fell straight to him to put it in. Perhaps you could say, well, one of the defenders, whoever was marking him or whatever, should have got there, but no. Wow, that was a different class.
Dropped on his foot, didn't
it? It was, because it was that quick, wasn't it? Bang, 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 and in. You know, it's, wow.
6 inches either way.
We're normally so good with our recruitment, aren't we? We really are really good with our recruitment.
But then that shows you, Mark, that you do get it wrong at times. And they're not. Okay. The guys aren't perfect at the club, and they will. Listen, in another season, he may have come in and hit the ground running. Yeah. Unfortunately, his first game was a howler, so he's struggled to come back from that. But I think you see the highlight reel of Palmer's performance throughout Instagram or the social media, and you see every single time those defenders go straight to him, and that then starts to become a bit of a brotherhood and a camaraderie that you can rely on him. What a performance. Like, thank God he's here, he's got us out of this, he saved this. So that just only breeds that confidence again in between the back four and midfield players, etc., that have been playing with ridiculous confidence over the last few years, because they know the people behind them have always performed really, really well.
I think as a goalkeeper you must be vocal. You've got to be vocal and say something or indicate so that players know where you are, sort of thing. But you've got to be vocal, and if you're not vocal, then the defenders lose touch. They don't know anything about the goalkeeper, what he's doing, what he's thinking, and all this. And I think possibly that's where Muric is not really, you know, what you want with communication. But you know, Palmer's coming in, and I just feel, I'll just relax now, because I know someone is a real professional. I'm not saying Muric isn't, but he's sort of really fits the bill when it comes to good communicators.
He's been waiting for this
stoppers.
chance, hasn't he? He said so. You know, for his Premier League debut.
Premier League, yeah. He's done ever so well in the Championship, and he deserves. You know, he's worked hard, so he deserves a chance, and he's taken it very well.
We were watching an interview with was it Muir at Brighton? Who's the recruitment or head of player development?
David Weir.
David Weir.
David Weir.
And he was saying that, yeah, we've done very well, and we've got a reputation for how we've managed to bring players into the club, and how we managed to buy the right sorts of players in the January window. But he said, believe me, we get our own amount wrong as well. But we don't try and make a decision for at least 6 months down the line. We don't expect anybody to come in and all guns blazing and be brilliant from day one. It might take some a month, it might take some 6 months, but you know, we get a few wrong. He said, but you know, we just managed to get a few more right, and that's what gives us a good publicity about it. But you know, he said the worst thing you can do is do nothing.
Yeah.
But we had Ron Gray, didn't we? That was it. They have a team of like 40 or 50 analysts and, you know, people in the recruitment department. We just had Ron Gray, and he got a lot of things right.
Well, Ron
yeah,
Gray
but
was
to be
fun.
fair, you're not going to bring, if you've only got a squad of 17, 18 players, you know, I mean, Ipswich have used more players in the last month than we used in a season, which is quite ridiculous. But then, I mean, I go back to 76, I think. In February the 15th, we were, I've got to get this right now, we were 2 points behind Liverpool with 4 games in hand. But what happened over the Easter, we lost 3 games on the trot for the first time that season, and that cost us the league. But I mean, that's how it was right through the 70s. The most players we used was 24, I think. I think when Butch in 78, 79, when I didn't play, I think you only used about 19, I think. And 2 or 3 of those players probably only played one or 2 games. So there was 16 players playing about 45, 50 games. And so
you built partnerships. You knew how each other played.
well, you didn't have much choice because there wasn't anybody else. No, so you know, if you you know, I mean, and talk about players' fitness now, like people like Mick Mills, Brian Talbot would often play with an injury simply because there wasn't a choice, really, because we didn't have any players anyway. So whether Bobby's job was easier than Kieran McKenna's is now, I don't know. But selection-wise, that was obviously a lot easier then because you didn't have these massive squads to pick from.
What do you make of Liam Delap?
Well, to be fair, I wouldn't want to play against him.
Says the man who had Johan Cruyff in his pocket.
Yeah, he's got a little bit more muscle than Johan Cruyff, I think. No, he's as a physical centre forward, he's awesome, really. I mean, and he's obviously going to cause a lot of people a lot of problems. And being as young as he is, I mean, you know, everybody's looking forward to him. You know, obviously becoming a really good player.
England squad? Yeah, it's got to be in the England squad. It has to be. I know Watkins scored, but he has to be there because obviously you need more than one striker for that. So hopefully Tuchel has come back to England and seen some games, and he can actually go and pick him because he should pick him.
Oh, it's a deft touch, wasn't it, to score the goal against Villa?
Brilliant.
You know,
Great
touch.
Great finish.
But he's done that before. He's done that several times. So you know he can score goals all round.
Because there's that, and then there's the wallop, isn't there? You know,
Yeah.
it's a technical term I used.
Yeah.
I think where he's good is, you know, he runs and people bounce off him. You know, they try and knock him out of his stride, and he's strong enough to keep going at pace, balanced, and still able to hold the defenders off. It's really quite clever.
A question I spoke to Roger about before. Do you think, Chambo, after that performance, we've got a chance of staying up now?
I haven't once thought that that's it at all. I think there's so many twists and turns, and I think you look at the league in itself and you've got Spurs and Man United right down the bottom, and it's just bizarre. And I think any team on their day can beat any team apart from Liverpool. So I see us going right to the wire, which I did say from the start of the season, and they've just got to keep believing, and everyone's got to keep believing. And the performances they're continuing to put in, they keep getting better. They might have a little bump in the road, as they call it, every now and then, but the players are continuing to give everything for each other and the team and the manager, and that's all you can ask them.
Roger, what do you think?
Exciting times.
Yeah, I mean, I went to the Brighton game was a little bit of a disappointment in as much as Brighton played it across the back back four or back five for about half an hour, and actually killed the game. And that's probably been the worst I've seen us play, really, because we got into a half time 1-0 down, and then people thought we'd turn it around, but that didn't happen. But the last couple of games, you think, well, hold on a minute, we've got a chance simply because we're giving it a go, really. I mean, and with the manager who's got the backing of the players, which most teams who are down the bottom, they've all sacked their manager, so they've all got new managers which can work one way or the other. But he's obviously got them playing for him, and like last Saturday was just a real bonus, really.
Butch?
No, I have no worries at all. I'm even more confident now than I was before. So I think that will give them a lot of belief. And you look at the run-ins. Wolves are still to play Manchester City away and Ipswich away as well. Leicester still to play Manchester City and Liverpool plus Ipswich. So the run-in's pretty good for us. We haven't got to play the top two or the top three and that sort of thing. Just Arsenal at home is a potentially, you look at that and say, well, that could be tricky. But we have some really good games. So obviously Leicester, we've got Everton, we've got Wolves, we've got Bournemouth away, which would be tricky, Palace. So these are winnable games, and particularly away from home as well. We actually, our record away from home is considerably better than at home. So there's lots of good things when you think about it, and the form. The only thing is injuries. We've had a lot of injuries this year that have affected us, particularly down the right-hand side. So the way that we play, we have to get the injured players back if possible. But players stay as fit as possible, then we've got a good chance. I'm very confident.
Russ?
6 points from the next 2 games.
Okay.
I think it's going to get us really on the front foot there. And they both happen to be Kieran McKenna's old clubs. So I would take another 3 points off Spurs. Be the first time we've done a double in the Premier League against anybody, and that would be lovely. Do that over Spurs, eh?
We hated Spurs, didn't we? We absolutely did. In fact, we hated every team.
Yeah. I was having a chat with Paul Miller last night.
What was wrong with Spurs then?
Yeah, we just hated them. They're flipping animals. They're animals. So we have to be more dirty animals. I mean, invariably were. We loved it. You beat Spurs a lot in your era as well, didn't you?
We beat Arsenal more, actually.
All right.
Yeah, we loved playing against Arsenal for some reason. I don't know why. But,
proof of the pudding.
Was it Big Al and the beat used to scare their centre forwards?
Scare McDonald, yeah.
That was it.
There is the story of McDonald in the tunnel, isn't there, at Wembley? That Beat told me once that I think McDonald, Big Al had a nip of something, and Beat said that McDonald went up and wished them all the very best, and Big Al's response was not the same, and he said to Beat, "Has he been having a drink?" He went, "Yeah," and so we didn't see him for most of the game, did we? So he was frightened in the tunnel, I think.
Yeah.
Who was the other centre forward? Was it Frank Stapleton? Was he the other one?
Yeah.
Well, he was just a youngish boy then.
Yeah. It's a good player. Yeah. I mean,
it was a good Arsenal side you beat, wasn't it?
On the day it wasn't, but they were an excellent side. I mean, one of the big things was Liam Brady's probably the best midfield player in the country, and he's probably only 50% fit, which helped me because I had to mark him. But on his day, he was a brilliant player, but he shouldn't have played really. Graham Rick should have played in his place, and my job would have been a lot harder then, I think.
Well, Sammy Nelson, he said he couldn't get the ball to Liam Brady because, you're saying half fit that day. But we had Alan was only 50% fit, even with a little nip.
Yep.
Beat probably was the same. He was only about 50% fit, but they were both going to play. But, it was just one of those days, Roger, wasn't it?
Right, that's a lovely... I mean, football, that doesn't happen very often in your career, that you start a game that well and that goes all the way through the game. And, despite the fact we couldn't score, that was quite a one-sided game, really, which is ridiculous simply because we were having an awful season in the league and Arsenal, we're doing well. But that was funny. I'd still take it back to 75 when we lost to West Ham in the semi-final. That hurts really bad. because we'd had 2 or 3 seasons where we'd been in Europe and we'd never won anything, and we honestly thought we could win the FA Cup that season. And you shouldn't do that, you know. And in '78, probably 7 or 8 of the players who played in '75 played, you know, in the semi-final, and us, you know, we won the semi-final quite well against West Brom, who were going very well in the league.
I mean, you were all. I mean, obviously, FA Cup, UEFA Cup for you guys, but you were in those seasons as well. You were so close, weren't you, to potentially winning other trophies? Do you look back on that and think, well, what could we have done differently, or could you? Was it just the way it was going to be?
Well, what we could have done, we could have signed more players, but we didn't, and probably couldn't, probably because of the financial situation, I suppose. But we got to Easter, and like, there's all this talk amongst people that's saying, like, these players now earn a lot of money, and they said, oh, they're moaning about playing so many games. But football, I mean, you get to Easter, and even the players who play now, it's a long season, and people say, you only played 90 minutes. But that's not that. That's the training and the pressure of playing at a high level, really. I mean, and we got to Easter for 2 or 3 seasons where we just run out of steam, really. You know, Liverpool had a little bit bigger squad than us, and you know, and we just, you know, you only need a couple of injuries, and like Trevor Wymark was injured badly one year. Beat was frequently injured, so you just couldn't afford to have them, really.
Yeah, we had that, didn't we? Getting towards Easter, we lost to those blokes up the road. Those poor people up the road. You lost to them, and it was a number of games, obviously, that came thick and fast. Easter and then after Easter, and we just didn't have that. We had a lot of players out, so it affects you when you run with, you know, people say, well, the more we play together, the better the team understandings, things like this, because it's less players. But if you've got the big squads now, there's no excuses for a dip in form, because you have the players there that can come in and cover, which is great for a manager, for the fans as well. And you see these players, and the players get a chance. They know they're going to get a chance as well. So it is probably better in this era to have that possibility.
You don't have to go that far back, Chambo, when you were flying high around the Christmas time, weren't you? And Mick didn't or couldn't strengthen in the January window, and a lot of people think that perhaps if we'd strengthened in that January window, you'd have gone on to be a Premier League football team.
Yeah, I don't think there's a question that wouldn't have happened, but here we are.
Sorry to bring that up.
No, it's the same sort of thing, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I went through, when I first started, there was squads of 18, 20. But then obviously it started to become a different beast, and then you're talking about 25, 30-man squads and people getting left out of 18 match day squads and stuff like that. So, yeah, they're the key things when you have injuries. And now I think we do get to Easter, especially still in football nowadays, but you can't make additions. So that's where the squad comes into play. But talking about that, where the guys are talking about it, is you can get to a certain point, and it is all the things that come with a season of football, and regardless of what level, it's a long slog, and that's what they always call it. So when you do get to Easter and you do lose a couple, that's what can cost you titles and cup runs, and that's obviously what history's done. But I think the squad now that we look at in this day and age has got every position covered, albeit maybe that right hand side we've lost quite a lot of injuries, but it's such a fantastic squad now between now and the rest of the season that, I mean, just expecting them to keep getting better and better. And Roger mentioned the Brighton game, and I think that came off the back of us finding a formula where we got a result by sitting in against Chelsea, then sitting in and doing quite well at Arsenal, which we then tried to do that again against a Brighton team at home, where we could have probably got after that game and maybe used the squad a bit better. But Kieran hasn't got too much wrong, so it's just one of those things that, again, they'll learn, and they showed that again at Villa. And they'll just keep using that squad between now and the end of the season.
In your big season, Russ, you ploughed on through Easter, didn't you? How many games was it in that year, 81?
66. I think there was a few international games as well. I think I worked it out one day that from the start of the first official game to the last game of that season meant that I played a game every 4.95 days. So, you know, it was but I enjoyed it. You know, and I prefer to be playing than training, because our training sessions were really hard. We mentioned that before. So, and I was fortunate that if I did get an injury, it wasn't bad enough to keep me out of the team. And there were games when, I probably shouldn't have played. But I was fortunate enough to have one or two decent players alongside me. They helped me get through it, and you just tick another one and off you go again.
Yeah, we didn't have Red Bull in our day. It was lager. A lot of lager. Yeah. Didn't give you wings, but certainly did something for us.
Yeah, helps you recover, doesn't it?
Yeah, hydration. It's all about hydration. Yeah, we've got to hydrate.
Yeah, we overhydrated it a few times, I think.
It was vodka once. We carry on.
Go on.
Yeah,
Vodka, did you say?
No, we had vodka.
Yeah. Before a cup game.
Before a cup game.
Okay.
What?
Yeah.
Like, how much? What, a shot?
Well, it's probably 2 fingers about that big. Yeah.
What? So you all just lined it up before a game?
No, that wasn't actually on the day of the game.
Oh, okay.
It was the night before. No, it wasn't the night before. No, it was 2 days before. So we were fine. We were sensible. We were sensible people.
Roger, do you want to come in here and add anything to these two on this kind of?
When it comes to drinking, no, I didn't drink, so.
Yeah, you were never invited, Roger, to be honest.
No, you're right there. No, I mean, I think there was I think most of the drinking when I was playing was the younger boys. I think the boy like well, I must have mentioned names, should I? I mean,
yeah, of course you can.
The Bloom Future along Foxhall Road was the place where the young boys all went for a drink, and that was quite acceptable during the week, I think, obviously. So that's what happened, really.
There's some great pictures of Sir Bobby, Alan Hunter, Paul Marner and the Beat, where they're sat in the corner after beating West Brom in the semi-final of the FA Cup. So it's in the hallowed changing rooms of Highbury, you know, the marble floor, the underfloor heating and all that. And I think the Beat's there, he's got a scotch on and a fag. Alan's got a scotch, cup of tea and a fag. So Bobby's got a large scotch there, having a smile, and Mauner's the same. Mauner's got a beer, and they're all just having a giggle in the corner, and that was it. You know, and we used to sit in the big communal bath for about half an hour after the game, and there'd be a case of light ale one side of you, and pot of tea the other side. And Hunter and Beatty on the other side having a fag with an ashtray there. Good old days, wasn't it?
And that was before we got in the Players' Lounge, and that was before we got on the bus. So when we get back to Ipswich and we fancy the curry or a Chinese, we'd drive up to the curry place, order the food, have a beer, and then take everything home.
Somebody else was driving, though.
So, of course, yes, somebody else. Well, were they? I don't think they were. No.
Different era.
I can't remember.
Different era. Right, we'll come back and talk some more in a moment about you, Roger, but I want to just move on to the Player of the Week. So this is sponsored, as always, by the Dove in Ipswich. So 1-1 against Aston Villa. Who would you give it to, Chambo?
I'm just going to wait for the fellas to answer, because I only saw the highlights, I'm brutally honest.
OK. Russell.
The goalkeeper.
OK. Palmer.
Yes, Alex Palmer. Fantastic. Like I say, I think he gave the back five a lot of confidence. The supporters got a lot of confidence from the way he played. All helped. I thought it was super. Terrific performance.
OK. Terry?
Palmer.
Palmer?
Yep.
Why?
Well, he was the best player. Well, do you think I said that? What do you think I said that? He wasn't the worst player, he was the best player.
No, it's good. OK.
OK.
Roger, would you like to?
Well, I think that's got to be Palmer, yeah. I think he should bottle that smile after the game as well. I mean, yeah, I mean, what a debut, you know, debut, I mean, crazy.
Yeah, it is the stuff of dreams. Chambo.
Palmer.
Full set.
4-0.
Brilliant. So, our new goalkeeper, Player of the Week, everybody. Roger, how did you end up at Town? Because you were playing. Who spotted you?
Nobody, actually.
Oh.
My brother David was a very, very good player. He'd had trials for England as a youth team player and played for the youth team. And if I go round he's got up in his summer house a little captionette of the where he scored a hat-trick against West Ham and beat Mr. Penalty. But then that was allowed to be taken again. But that was probably the highlight of his career because for one reason or another, he didn't want to be a professional footballer, really. He probably didn't have the attitude, really. And but while he was playing for the youth team, I used to have to drive him down to Ipswich from Otley because he couldn't get there. So I used to sit in the car.
Otley in Yorkshire?
Yeah, something like that. Took me 20 minutes. And so I had to drive David down there and he trained. And Jeff Hammond, who played for the first team at the time, I went to Farlingay School with him, and Ipswich were having terrible injury problems at the time, and Jeff suggested that if I trained a little bit, perhaps I could go a sub for the reserves. And so at the time I was working on a building site, and I used to get a call on a Friday to say, meet down at 10 o'clock, you're playing at Highbury tomorrow. And I started off, I was sub for 3 or 4 weeks, and then I actually got into the team because basically I was a lot fitter than some of them there because I'd been playing 3 games a week. I'd been playing Saturday afternoon, Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon.
3 games a weekend?
3 games, yeah.
Right.
Westerfield, then Clark Demolition, who I worked for, and then Farlingay Old Boys, my old school team. And so I was pretty fit, and that's basically how it started, really. And I came on sub for the reserves and done well, and probably done that for probably nearly 2 years, 2 seasons, I think, and didn't make my debut until I was 23, October 73. Yeah.
What was that like? Who was it against?
Against Wolves and
home or away?
Home. Wolves. We won 2-0. Gatesy was the sub, and he made his debut that day. But guess who he took off?
Go on.
Me.
Number 7.
He started as he meant to finish. Yeah, so and so that is basically how I started, really. I mean, and I, basically it's a dream come true, really, because I went from paying £2 subs to play for Westfield on a Saturday afternoon to actually within the space of 7 years playing at Wembley, really, and crazy.
Was it Bobby Robson that you were the most? He subbed you the most time, so you were the most sub player in his career.
Probably would be, yeah, because whether I wasn't scared of him, but I mean he certainly wasn't scared of me because most players do react a bit to being taken off, but I obviously thought that was part of the game that and because I was pretty laid back, I suppose.
Well, you were ahead of your time because it is part of the game now, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't think I was ahead of my time. No. No. But that became a bit of a joke, really, within the club, really, that Bobby had only got the number 7 in his bag. But never mind. No.
And when you arrived tonight, Butch said, "Hello, Arnie."
Yeah, I don't really like to go into that.
Oh.
That comes from he's my best friend at the club, Laurie Civil, my best man, and he knew a cricket umpire who was very bandy, and so that's where it come from. So we should have kept quiet about that.
What was his full name? What was it? What was Arnie?
He said it was Arnie Habblethwaite, but he probably made it up, knowing Laurie. But
was that a relation from Otley in Yorkshire? Was it? No,
it could have been. Yeah.
You all had nicknames, didn't you, in those days? I mean, Beattie, when he used to do the radio show with us, when all of you would come in, it would be, here comes Spanner, here comes Sticks. The list would go on. Everybody had a nickname, didn't they?
Yeah, Beattie had a few himself, didn't he?
Monster,
yeah, that was it.
Monster mainly.
Yeah,
because he was.
Yeah, it was about a certain part of his anatomy that preferred to Monster, so we shan't go into that.
Don't.
The biggest in British football.
Yeah, the biggest in British football. Yeah.
Nearly tripped over it.
It wasn't. It wasn't. But you know, the story continues.
He was very proud of his.
He was very proud. Yeah.
Anatomy. Yeah. Very proud of
Family show. I mean, better stop that.
Yeah. And
Told you.
when the statue was made of him, they had to make sure that bit was to proportion as well. Apparently.
Yeah.
See, there he is there. Look at it. Right in your face.
I think it was, yeah. I think it was slightly bigger than that, to be honest. But I couldn't possibly say.
No. And Chambo, today, I mean... I'm not talking about...
Am I the monster now, is that what I'm saying? Let's not go into that.
No.
Nicknames today, still happening?
Yeah, mine's Chambo.
Yep. Took a long while to work that one out, didn't it?
Yeah. I didn't give it myself. There's loads of nicknames, but yeah, there's not like these boys had in the back in the day. Just generally just put an O on the end of someone's name or a Y, or abbreviate Varney to Varnes.
Oh right, okay.
There's a few, but not any that spring to mind really that I want to share.
I've got another book here this week. that's been lent to me.
You lucky boy.
Thank you, Mandy. Thank you. And it features you as well, Roger. This one, and this one's from 1980. Were you born then, Chambo?
Nope.
But it has got nicknames. So, Russell Osman's nickname in 1980. What was it? It's really not very inventive. Russ. Let me find Terry Butcher, because he's in here.
Butch.
It was Butch, or there was another one, I think. There were two. Butch or...
Well, there's loads. There's loads. I was called by the staff.
Basil.
Basil, yeah. As in the cricketer. Is that right?
I don't know, it just says Basil. I might have been brushed as far as I know.
Well, it was black.
Right.
Yeah, so it bore no resemblance to me. So, but I was called Victor once by Bobby Ferguson, and Victor was a giraffe that that had an accident and sort of his legs just splayed out. So he was like 4 legs just splayed out. It was funny to him, but the actual giraffe died as a result.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't particularly happy either, no. So there we are.
Well, if you see Terry at Portman Road on Saturday, just shout, "Hi, Victor."
No, don't do that.
No, don't do that, because he'll want to meet you in the car park.
Do not do that.
Yeah.
No.
So, Roger, in 1980, these are the facts and figures that you gave to an interviewer. Your favourite away ground, what would that have been?
Highbury, I would have thought.
Correct, Highbury. Favourite other club?
Good one. What did I say? Tottenham.
You didn't have one.
Tracy.
Didn't have one.
You were Ipswich through and through.
Well, boring.
First floor.
Favourite food in 1980?
I'm gonna sausage pudding followed
Sausage pudding.
What is a sausage pudding?
Yeah, hold on.
You
What's a sausage
What is
pudding?
it?
This is
Inquiry.
a proper one where your mum used to cut the bed sheet up. And
what?
You cut the bed sheet up, make a suet pastry, and then wrap it in sausage meat, and then that gets steamed.
Wow.
And that's pretty good.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, don't make that for me, I'll tell you.
No.
Bed sheet.
Favourite singer?
Oh, bloody hell. Did I have one?
Yeah, you did. Female. Absolute icon.
I've got to be very careful here because I'm tone deaf, so I turn the radio off at home when the music's on. So,
How do you know if you're deaf?
no,
Diana
Ross.
Correct, well done. And what else can we find in here? Your dislikes.
Bad Manners.
Correct. They weren't a bad group, but I understand what you're saying.
Oh, what is
Never heard
it?
them anyway.
Violence and bad manners.
Violence and Bad Manners, yeah.
And what did you like?
God, bloody hell.
You've mentioned it already tonight. Local football.
Local football.
Yep.
Football.
Local
yeah.
football, yep. And animals. If it had been a beauty contest, you'd have done very well in that,
That's
wouldn't
fun.
you? You know? World peace and I love animals.
But a strange look saying that, because I did look at 1 or 2 programmes this afternoon at me loft, and Eric Gates done one of them, and they were the most brilliant answers I've ever seen. So I'll get it to you, and
yes, please.
and you can read them out, because that boy's got some sense of humour.
I asked you last week, have you done one of those, Chamber? Did you ever get sort of... Don't the lads
Not the same effect, is it? Really?
Don't the lads sort of ask each other questions and bits and pieces?
Yeah, we had to do them once a year.
Yeah, like a fact file
But they were
type
just,
thing.
Yes,
We'll dig one out.
Yeah, I was
particularly
just wondering who I
interesting.
had to ask to get yours.
I'm sure some of our viewers would have them in their loft somewhere, or prized possession or something.
Yeah.
I haven't got one, so.
Okay, we'll see what we can dig out for you. Right, now it's time for Ask the Legends, sponsored by Seckford Golf Club. Now, Tony's here from Seckford. Hi, Tony.
Hi.
Roger, this is Terry and Russell. There's a question aimed at them. Chambo and you are able to help them if you wish, or to hinder them if you wish. At the moment, I'll just duck down when I say the scores are Terry 9.5, Russell 16.5. You're brave to laugh at that capacity, crowd.
It's a conspiracy, it really is.
So, Tony, what have you got for us this week?
Well, I've been trying to think of something that Terry actually knows about.
Okay.
So I thought the best
I don't
thing...
want pity. I don't want any
the
pity
best
at all.
thing then... All right, then. I won't tell you them. I've been looking through the records a little bit, and was, as you, being the hard man that you were, and the tackles that used to fly in, and the referees, I just wondered how many red cards you might have got. But the question is, though, who is Ipswich Town's most sent-off player?
Since 1936, who is the most sent-off Ipswich Town player? He's been a guest on this show.
Is that being sent off whilst playing for Ipswich, or sent off in his whole career for...
No, for Ipswich Town.
For Ipswich Town.
Just for Ipswich.
Yeah. And I'm surprised, because I didn't think he was particularly... No.
It's quite a low number as well, and you know, I think, Terry, you were only sent off once, and Russell twice, and Luke twice.
Was it only twice?
Yeah.
For Town?
Yeah, for Ipswich. I often get the figures wrong, so...
Got a VAR on that if need be. So who do you think it would be? Should we give him a clue?
No. Have you got an answer, Dan?
Oh, no.
Who, in your opinion, would have been a dirty player? I don't know. But this person doesn't seem to be that at all.
No.
I mean, you've only got a few hundred to choose from, so pick a name. You know, it's
There
probably
wasn't
gonna
actually that many in the list.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Since 1932, this was.
Yeah.
Well, I'll give you a clue then. 4 times he was sent off.
4 times.
Well, that's a great help. Thank you very much.
I know. I really thought this would be your bag, Terry.
Okay, I'm going to give them, because we'll be here all night otherwise, I'm going to give them a big clue. Is that okay? Can I do that? He's Dutch. That's narrowed it down slightly, hasn't it? From several hundred to a few. The most sent off Ipswich Town player. Got an answer, Russ?
I have, but I don't think I'm...
Okay. Terry?
Well, I've got one.
Okay. You've got Fabian Wellness. Okay. And Russell, who have you got?
DeVos.
The answer, you'll be very pleased to know, Russell, is...
Fabian Wilness.
Terry Watcher!
I was right all along. I
do believe
I knew
Butch,
you'd know.
You're in
question.
double figures. Fantastic.
Can I declare as well?
No, we've still got a few of these to go. Yeah. What is it like? What is it like, Chambo, getting a red card?
Awful.
Awful.
Yeah, I hated it. I obviously disagreed with most of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a nice feeling. I did give one away against Leeds, I think it was on the last day of the season, which annoyed me because I missed the first game of the next season. But yeah, it's not a nice feeling, especially I got sent off away at Portsmouth, and I was being fouled by Ellis Harrison, who had absolutely kicked out of me all day and should have been sent off about 4 times. And then he dragged me down, and I got sent off for a second yellow card for pulling him. So you can imagine me keeping my calm walking off the pitch.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, horrible feeling.
Yeah,
because
nice.
you end up missing the next game, at least. So
I don't think anyone who gets sent off actually agrees with it.
no.
I mean, they'd be wrong to actually agree. So yeah, we was robbed sort of thing. But there we are. But
Did
yeah,
it ever
you
happen
had no
to you,
comeback.
Roger? No.
Well, yes, it did actually. Oh, sorry. It did. I got sent off once playing for Westfield against Framlingham Town. And when I was about 17, and this bloke dragged me back, and I said, say, ref. I didn't swear at the ref, and he sent me off for foul and abusive language.
Oh.
But it taught me a lesson, because I never ever got sent off in my professional career. No. I got booked a few times for being a bit slow.
What, by the police?
Well,
is that right?
yeah. But these speedy forwards got away from you, and you just thought you were going to get there, and didn't quite get there. So that's where most of my bookings come from, I think.
Mm. Any memorable ones, Russell?
Yeah, I think there's been a few memorable ones. Obviously, the one with Stainrod at Loftus Road after 5 minutes. That was a bit of a quick exit for both of us. I can't remember the other one at for Ipswich.
Southampton.
Was it? Oh, his was a cracker. He put Mickey Shannon and put him halfway up the staircase going back into the change room, didn't he? And that little shit. Oh. Kevin Keegan had been trying to referee the game all day long. You know, Mickey Mills had a right ding dong with Kevin because England teammates and all that, and Tay had been sent off because he carted Mickey Shannon. You did well to catch him, actually, didn't you? Yeah.
I wish I'd caught him harder.
And then
Terry, you've got a very satisfied look on your face at the moment.
He's just staring into the distance. thinking,
Sometimes,
it's brilliant.
sometimes physicality is exquisite. It's lovely. Remember,
well, they needed a repair to the change room door, I think.
Yeah, changing room door got it. Yeah.
And Kevin Keegan needed a repair to his eyebrow from the resulting free kick that came over, and just happened to catch him.
It's called passion.
Yeah.
When football was football, eh? Cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right, it's time now for our table football challenge, sponsored by Fred Olsen Logistics.
You up, boss?
So here we have, so Terry and Russell, take your places. Roger, if you'd like to come up, you'll be taking on our 2 Ipswich and England defenders to see how many goals you can score. But would you like someone to assist you, Roger? You're over that side, over there. Would anybody like to assist Roger tonight in our table football challenge? Come on, don't leave him on his own. Anybody step forward? Someone want to step forward? Come on, Patrick. Go on, Patrick. There we are. So you've got 60 seconds to score as many goals as you can against Terry and Russell, and you've got 5 to beat. Good save there from Patrick. Oh, good shot from Patrick, shooting hard. Go on, Roger. Come on, Roger. Just imagine it's Wembley, 78, Roger. Oh, 1-0 down. 1-0 down. Terry and Russell 1-0 up. See if we can get an equaliser here. There's a lot of midfield play at the moment. Yeah, cagey game in the midfield. Oh, nearly got a shot off there. Oh, good save, Terry Butcher. Good save. Come on, Patrick, hit it out.
Keep it there.
Oh, good shot from Roger. Cagey game at the moment. Oh, it's off the goal line. It was on the goal line. Oh, and again a good save from Terry Butcher. Yeah, it is. Looks like it's nearly an own goal, I thought there for a second. Oh, come on! Come on, get in there! On the goal line again. What a challenging match. Fantastic. Well done, Patrick. Well done, Roger.
It was a game of two goalkeepers, but there we are.
It was indeed, yeah. Yeah, Palmer and Palmer, not Muric and Muric. Chambo still in the lead with 5. Well done. It's going to take some beating. On his own. Going to take some beating.
There'll be a 5 with an asterisk beside it.
Even drop it to 4, it would probably still win, wouldn't it?
Drop it to 3 as well.
You probably will.
We're all winners.
We are indeed. Right. Time for our On This Day in History, also sponsored by our friends at Fred Olsen Logistics. Russell.
Right, on this day in history, I'm going to start on Tuesday, the 18th of February, 1969. I know it's the 19th today, but we'll start on the 18th. The Blues achieved a brilliant 2-0 win at Highbury, which is what we've been talking about all night, isn't it? Over 4th-placed Arsenal, thanks to goals from Ray Crawford and John O'Rourke. Saturday, the 18th of February, 1978. In freezing conditions at Bristol Rovers, Ipswich kept their name in the FA Cup quarter-final draw thanks to a brace from reserve striker Robin Turner. Turner's goals, including a level of 4 minutes from time, were his first for the club. Winger Clive Woods was the town man of the match with a performance which made the host's defence look as petrified as Lowell and Hardy swinging on loose scaffolding.
What a great description. Well done, Dan. What a great description.
There you go.
Dan actually sent me sorry, Russ. Dan sent me a link to the goals today to look at. And the snow, I mean, how on earth that game went ahead?
I know, crazy, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Eastfield Stadium by the gas tanks and everything. Bobby Gould scored a terrific goal that got disallowed for some reason.
Good.
Nobody knows why.
Yeah.
Of course, his name was Bobby Gould, I think.
Well, probably, yeah. Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Right, on Saturday the 19th of February 1972, the Blues were sunk by a solitary Charlie George goal at Pullman Road before a crowd of 28,657 fans. Charlie George, I thought he was a great player, Charlie.
He was one of my favourites as a kid, Charlie George.
Yeah, Wednesday the 19th of February 1986, Dean MacDonald was born in Lambeth. MacDonald scored his only goal at Crewe Alexandra before joining Gillingham on a free after 5 starts. Didn't know him. Did you know him?
Who? No.
Dean MacDonald.
Anybody? Came from Arsenal, did he? Okay, all right. Young lad. Right, thank you, John.
Yeah, he was born in Lambeth. So it makes sense, that.
It does indeed,
Yeah,
yes.
lovely. And that's all from Ipswich Town on this day from Dan Botton's recent book.
Brilliant. Can we give a big cheer to Ipswich Town women? Top of the league. Fabulous. Man v Fat results are in. A cold night at goals on Friday, but a good turnout saw the Man v Fat lads lose another stone. Congratulations to the 11-a-side reserve team who beat Thetford 12-1 at Inspire Suffolk on Sunday with hat-tricks from Town fans Jose Simos and Adam Harris. This week's scores from our regular 7-a-side matches. The Red Hot Chubby Fellas 1, Ivory Toast 12, Galatasaray 5, the Red Cat Funts 14. Yay! Borussia München Flapjack 10, Wycombe Waddlers 4, L'Argentina 6, Dinamo Kebab 5. We do have limited availability for new players if any Town fans like football and want to lose some weight. That's from Man v Fat Mark. Spurs Chambo this weekend. What are your thoughts?
Great opportunity. 3 points at home. I think we'll go and win it. I really do. That's it.
It depends which team turns up, doesn't it?
No, we'll be on it. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
It'll be a real opportunity to take 3 points at a team that are really, really struggling at the minute. But on their day, they can be fantastic. But I think we'll approach that game trying to win it.
Okay. Roger?
Yeah, Luke, so when you say which team turns up, I think you meant Spurs.
Yes.
Yeah, you're just so unpredictable. I mean, they've got some very, very good players, and but, you know, their confidence can't be that high, really. They've been taking some, you know, had some pretty poor results just lately, and, you know, it must be a great time to play them, so it's a great chance.
Terry?
3 points. It's not must win, but it's be nice to get the 3 points, but be nice to get a performance that gets you those 3 points. But No, I think the atmosphere is going to be brilliant. I mean, everybody's going to go along and cheer the boys on because these 2 games are really pivotal in this season. So yeah, it'll be a good start. And just like old days, beating Spurs, what a great feeling that is. What a great feeling.
Said with real feeling that, actually.
And it's a yes from me.
A yes from you. Brilliant. Fantastic.
Yep, 3-0.
Oh, really?
Yeah, 3-0. I think it'll be Delap, Hutchinson, and then Hurst will come on and get one as well. There you go.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Be lovely, wouldn't it?
It'd be nice. Nice if I got a 5 on it.
Yeah.
Are you having a bet on it? Yeah.
I might do actually when I get home.
Brilliant. Well, look, it's been a great show. Roger, you are immense. We love you very much. You're welcome on the show anytime. Thank you for helping us get one of the stars on our Ipswich Town shirts back in '78, a place in history. Do you still have to not buy a drink in town, or has that sort of faded a bit now?
I think I got fish and chips the week after the cup final. I haven't had anything since, really.
If you're on the town and you see Roger, you know what to do.
But that is a lie, because there might be some of the people watching, because I've been in the Wolsey now and again in town, and there's a nice group of people just inside the door, and I've had a drink off them, I must admit. So daren't go in anymore in case I have to buy one. But,
I love it. Roger Osborne! Chambo, thank you very much. Thank you, Terry, Russell, thank you. Capacity Crowd, thank you very much. Don't forget to like and subscribe on YouTube, and we'll be back next week. Have a fantastic weekend, and 3 points hopefully for the town on Saturday. Blue Army, everybody! Blue Army! Blue Army! Blue Army! Blue Army! Blue Army! Blue Army! This has been a Life's a Pitch TV production. Main sponsor, DPS Tech. Also supported by Lakens, All About Hearing, Forward Floors, Ginger Pickle, Fred Olsen Logistics, The Dove, Seckford Golf Club, Ashford Wright, John Keeble Cars, Venue 16, The Hudson Group, Come Hither Design, Sound 4 Pro Audio, and Suffolk Sound. Our charities this year: Cancer Support Suffolk and the Ipswich Town Community Foundation.